Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name's Jade and I like to do things all beauty and makeup related. If that sounds good to you, then why not hit that subscribe button. Today I have a really exciting one because I will be showing you my favourite spring palettes. If you would like to see what palettes I have chosen from my collection, please keep on watching. So guys, as you may have seen from the title, I have picked 10 palettes from my collection which I think would be perfect to use throughout spring. When I think of spring, I do think colourful but not too bright, more pastel, neutrals. So let's get into the palettes. So the first palette that I have chosen is fairly new. It was released this year and it's by Beauty Bay. It's the Love Notes palette. This palette I wasn't too keen on at first with the colour story, but when I got it in person, honestly, it's a beautiful, beautiful palette. So this is the colour story to the Love Notes palette. Beauty Bay's formulas are just amazing. These putty formulas are just so pigmented. I really, really love them. I love this colour story because you have plenty of transition shades. You have your neutrals, you have the lilacs, you have a few pinky sort of red tones down here, and it's just a beautiful colour story, and I think it's perfect for spring. I'm not too sure if I've done a look with this on my YouTube, however I do think I've done one on my Instagram. If you would like to see a video on this palette, let me know down below. My next palette that I've chosen to wear throughout spring is from Makeup Obsession, and it is the Crystal Waves palette. I love this palette. I think it's so beautiful. You'll see inside, it's colourful, it's fun. This is the colour story to the Crystal Waves palette. The pastels are not too fair. They are quite pigmented. If I just swatch this one and the yellow, they are very pigmented. The shimmers as well are just gorgeous. It's a beautiful palette. All the colours work really well together, so this one has to be in my spring palettes. My next spring palette that I've chosen, you can actually wear all year around. It's beautiful, it's romantic, it is fairly new to me. I have done an Instagram with it. Again, I don't think I've used it on my channel, but let me know down below if you'd like to see. And that is the Rose Quartz Huda Beauty palette. The packaging is gorgeous. I'm so glad that I picked this up. This is the colour story, really, really beautiful. The shades are just out of this world. Like, the pigmentation of the shimmers in here is beautiful. Even the mattes in here, very pigmented. I'm not too keen on this shade. It's like a gloss, but you can put it on your lid before you apply your eyeshadow, but you can also use it on like your lips, but it is a really, really gorgeous palette. I'll just do a few more swatches for you because I just feel the swatches that I did were not amazing, but these are the brighter tones in here, and again, just beautiful. My next palette is from e.l.f. and that is the Retro Paradise. This palette, again, the pigmentation, the performance of it is great. This is the colour story to the palette. Really, really stunning. This has to be like one of my favourite shades in the palette, and also this purpley blue here. Really, really beautiful. You do have this gold here as well, which is stunning. The mattes are very pigmented too. It's a beautiful palette. The next two palettes that I've chosen are from Morphe, and that is the 35X and the 35XO. They are quite similar. I'll show you both. This one was released first, the 35XO, and then the 35X, I believe, was released around Christmas, but let me show you the palettes. So this is the 35XO. The packaging is quite reflective. I'm not really keen on reflective packaging or reflective like inside, but the palette is stunning. So as you may know, the 35 palettes, like 35XO, 35X, they're called 35 because they have 35 shades in. This is beautiful. This is over on my Instagram as well. It's really, really stunning. There is a pressed glitter in here. I'm not too keen on pressed glitters, but the shimmers in here are beautiful. Lots of neutral tones in there, and you do have your pinky purples as well. It's a gorgeous palette. This is the 35X Big Primping palette, and this one is more warmer. You've got more variety of browns. You do have a few pink shades here. The same good quality with the shimmers in here, and I do love this palette as well. Really, really stunning, and you have a lot of darker shades here to deepen up any eye look, and I'm absolutely obsessed with these two palettes. The last few palettes I have are from Revolution as a whole. We have XX Revolution, I Heart Revolution, and Revolution. So let's get into them. So the first one I've chosen is from the Tasty range, and that is the Tasty Coconut one. Very plain packaging, but the inside covers it. It's absolutely stunning. And yeah, I really, really love this. It's got beautiful colours in there. The shimmers are stunning. So let's open it up. So here is the Tasty Coconut palette. It is very shimmer heavy, but the shimmers are beautiful. This lime green especially, I absolutely love. You have a purple, you have a dark pink. It's a really beautiful palette. I love the fact, yet you have very few mattes. You do have light transition matte shades, and you also have this dark brown up here. It is a beautiful palette, and I do reach for this as well. The second palette from I Heart Revolution that I've chosen has to be the Aristocats palette. This palette I think is perfect. It's cute, it's fun. I like the way it opens, and you have two sides of different shades. The shimmers again in here, they perform really well. The mattes are pigmented. It is a beautiful, beautiful palette. You do have your lighter shades, and you do have darker shades in there, and there's a variety in there. So I do think you can create quite a few nice springtime looks if you were to use the lighter shades in this palette. My next palette is one of my favourites, and that's from Revolution. It is the Roxy Cozy Vibes palette. When I saw this colour story, I fell in love. It's a neutral lover's dream. So this is what the palette looks like inside. I love this palette. Again, I do comment a lot on shimmers because they are my favourite. Really, really beautiful, and even so, the mattes are very, very pigmented. Lots of neutral tones in there, again, to create a very simple but beautiful springtime look. There is, however, two pressed glitters in here, which I'm not a fan of, but it is a beautiful, beautiful palette. Now, the last palette I've chosen had to be a pastel palette. And if you heard that I mentioned one of them is XX Revolution, so that is the XX Cloud palette. This palette is huge, but you've got all your pastel shades in here. It's really, really beautiful. This is what the palette looks like. I do have a video on my YouTube, and I've swatched this whole palette. It is beautiful. The shimmers, no problem. The mattes, no problem. Very, very pigmented. Hold it like this just so you can get a better view of it. Really, really stunning. All the colours of the rainbow, and it's absolutely beautiful. There's no fault with this palette. The pigmentation, the colour scheme, I love the way it looks as well. It goes in colour order, and all the colours work well together, and yeah, it's definitely a spring palette for me. So guys, that is it for my spring collection palettes that I like to use through this time of the year, and that I also recommend. Let me know down below if you enjoyed this video, because I'm more than happy to do more collections like this, or if there's a palette in here you want to see a video on. Let me know your favourite palettes that you like to use this time of year as well, because I'd love to hear. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time that I upload. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye.